Hey guys, so I'm back. I'm gonna try to give you some info about my system. Um, in this case, I actually decided to deviate a little bit and play more. When the opponent gives you space, take it. That's one of the main rules in chess. Uh, and I tried to get my knight in an interesting angle. Um, Obviously, he used two moves to put his bishop there, so that bishop is worth something for him, and not only in material but also in time and also territory because it controls extremely important center squares. It's the only piece that is actually activated that controls, tries to control the center. So it's natural that I aim for it. In this case, he plays the queen, which is rather an awkward move. It's there. I mean, knight should maybe have been placed there or kept that file open for the bishop to work on, and then place the knight on e2 instead, and try to open up a center pawn for the queen sooner or later. Right now, I am kind of own center. That's a problem. And now I see that he makes these mistakes, so I try to exploit it by pushing a bishop to a square where he can actually threaten to win a piece if he makes a mistake. I can end the game quickly. Um, but he sees that bishop can go to d5, so he controls that square with his knight. That's one of the most sound moves he made in the whole game. And then of course I attack that knight because that knight has to go. It's very good. And he sees that, so he defends that knight. But now things start to get a little bit complicated. The question is, which piece should I take? And that's one of these hard questions that chess, because it's like you have to do some solid thinking about what's important, what squares are important, and anything like that. So um, I decided to take that knight. The reason was a little bit unclear. I did it by gut feeling. I wasn't exactly sure how he would respond to this change, actually. So I was like, okay, maybe he will take it with the knight. Then I still have that trick to play from the bishop to d5. So that was why I more or less played it. Sometimes you get the feeling of the player you're playing, the opponent you're playing, and you kind of start to play a little bit of poker instead of chess, which is not optimal, but in rapid chess it's kind of good strategy, or even blitz or bullet chess, especially. As you know, I specialize in bullet chess at the moment, and I think that's maybe from where I have these kind of moves. Okay, queen takes, which is rather okay. He opens up bishop line, puts his queen in a square where it's much more sound. But as you see, I control the square, the center, and he plays the bishop at b2, and that's fine. Now he has chance to castle on both sides, and that's the third sound move he made in the game. And yeah, he starts to get his stuff together, and after a while you have that chance, of course. And I didn't have any real opportunity to strike at some place. So now I try to play a move that is a little bit more strategic. I mean, I try to find an angle to attack his king because I like to play games where I attack the king. As you see, white is quite solid right now. It's a problem, and I have to find a way to break through this armor. And he chose this long castling, which is good castling system. It is hard to break through it. I try anyway, and I try to make it more complicated. And he pushes rook to this f file, and now I push a5. I'm not sure it's good. I'm just trying to get some kind of confusion and some kind of distraction, because I can play b5, a4, and kind of, it's not really solid. It's not really moves I would play in a classic game, probably. I'm not sure. So f4 is played. Now he starts to attack my center, which is good for him, and I have to be careful. And I decided, instead of just take and get his rook out and maybe risk for a doubling of his rooks on the f file against my king, I decided to just consolidate and try to keep my bishop in that diagonal and this formation, and hope that I can block the center so I can attack in the flank. He takes, and of course I had thought about it, and actually it's maybe not me who's is the better position at the moment, but I think it's hard to exploit it. But I mean, hard to see how to exploit it. I think I can see how to exploit it, but yeah, it was a little poker move again, and he plays the rook. I play a rook just to keep the d4 pawn at bay, which is one of my weaknesses. And he plays the knight, opens up the bishop line. Now things start to get a little bit more complicated, which I am looking for, because yeah, that's my chance in the game to try to combine something, get some material. Castle, get rid of the king weakness, and he plays suddenly a really bad move, c2, c3, and c2, c3, and it sucks actually. So what can I do? Of course, I can check his king and take his rook, and it's kind of. But I think it was this confusion that he's starting to get a little, ants in his head, and doesn't really know where to strike, what to do, what to focus on, which was my plan. But of course, it's hard to know if he could be a sharp player, could play excellently in the position, and not make a mistake like that. But I was lucky, and he kind of cracked over the pressure of all these different elements, and I took his rook. Now I am quality up, and I consolidate with my rook, strengthen my bishop, which has been the weak spot in the whole game, which probably I might have had lost in another game against a much stronger player. But then, of course, I wouldn't have played those moves, most likely. So yeah, chess is a little bit poker sometimes, especially in bullet chess and speed chess. I prefer not to play like that, but sometimes, just do it. b5 is played, threatening away his knight. Not sure that was the best move, because it kind of weakens up my stuff, and yeah. But I saw the weakness I had, and I was thinking, yeah, it could be better for me, and he decided to do that. Then I took. He decided to check. I wanted to do that move anyway, so that was just a gift from white. And he took the rook, and I took back. And now suddenly we have two bishops against one rook, and then, sorry, yeah, I have one bishop up, and yeah, it's kind of solid win here. But I just need to make sure I don't make any mistake or displace the rook or leave the rook on guard or something like that. I take the bishop because it's one of the few pieces that can protect his king. Then I open up his king's position and strike all the pawns that are protecting him. And now I attack the last pawn that's protecting the king more or less uh, uh, safe way. And then he attacks my bishop, and I just take the pawn that was free. And then I have extreme good position because now h2 is really hard to defend, and also c2. So I can even. But right now, rook at e8 is unprotected if I move the queen, which I would like to move to h7, a7. But the problem is that I can't move it there yet. So therefore, I decided to move rook instead. And then you see the problem that it's going to be mate more or less very soon, unless he does something really creative, which doesn't exist in this position. And then he tries something, and then I check, and then the game is over because I check here. Rook can't take because then I mates at e1, and he can't even move because I mates anyway. So oh sorry, I don't. Yeah, I will mate in any case. Two moves. So game is over. He resigns when he took that bishop, and game was over. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found something interesting to how to play my system. Cheers. Have a good day.